Hello, we're live, I think. Good evening everyone and welcome along for the final time on F1 2021 to FRL. We are here for FRL F1. It is season number 15, round 16 of the championship as we take in the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, or otherwise known as the Autodromo de Interlagos. My name is James Head, going to be taking you to the stream as always on a Tuesday night, and joining me in the commentary box for the final time this season, it is Mr. FRL Jesse. Jesse, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Final time of the season, of course, Brazil. Lovely track, so I'm excited for the action tonight.
I'm equally excited for the action tonight. Maybe race of the season candidate coming up if everyone is clean, unlike F3 last night, obviously. But to talk you through, of course, the standings as we go into the final race of the season. Montana, by the way, championship leader, is already out of the running here tonight. So therefore, he's already up to the championship. And therefore actually means that AlphaTauri are going to be down one driver, of course, in the actual standings when I do get them up in just a second. It's Montana leads the way, 251 points. He is secured of that P1. P2 and P3 also secured. Jensen 182 points. Ruti on 150. Ruti only needs to score actually, I think 3 points, and he's racked up third position pretty much there. Barak's obviously not racing, so Ruti just needs to score 3 points here tonight, and then he's guaranteed of that P3. Barak in 4th on 127. Lou 5th on 108. Jonas 6th on 87. Tomo, another one not racing tonight, on 84. MedTC in 8th on 69. Stephen Osh in 9th. Very good win last time out, of course, from him on 63 in Mexico. And Weissman there in 10th on 49 points. And Jesse, final time this season, obviously. Montana has absolutely dominated, I think, the championship so far this season. Jensen Ruti hot on his tail. What can the guys now produce going into the final race of the season? Because this is the first look in, really, at what could happen next season.
Yeah, next season, of course, a really different game. New cars, new handling. So maybe we will see some drivers who are officially in the position where they are now, maybe going with some assists off for the next game. So.
Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if drivers do challenge themselves to obviously turn off the assist. You may as well in the final couple of weeks of the game. Obviously, next week, this time next week, we're going to be playing F1 22. You might just see a live stream from me as we go along as well on the new game with the new equipment. And I'm going to be debuting, of course, for FRL next season. AlphaTauri, by the way, there is still a Constructors' battle going on. AlphaTauri leading the way, 271 points. However, as we've already alluded to, Montana not racing here tonight, which means the reserve driver, Stephen Osh, will not pick up any points. No matter if he finishes first, he will not pick up any points because he is a reserve driver, so he won't add that tally, basically, for the AlphaTauri team. 26 points clear, 44 on the line, so they basically need to score 18 points, and then they're crowned champions, or just need to outscore Haas, basically, and then they're crowned Constructors champions. Haas, on the other hand, need 27 points to overcome the deficit between AlphaTauri and Haas. 245 points they are on. That basically means they need to finish first, 4th, I think we put, and fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken, as well for Haas. No, actually, it's first, 10th, and fastest lap. Sorry, we're going on with the Alpine, I think. I've got it mixed up completely there. Alpine 3rd on 234. They need first, 4th, and fastest lap to overcome the deficit that they've got. Of course, they have got a 37-point deficit behind AlphaTauri. Top 3 constructors, of course, can still win coming into tonight, as we get perfectly on time, actually, for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in qualifying. 4.2 kilometres and then 2.6 mile. 15 corners away to our drivers out on track. 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight in towards the CNMS, and then one down and towards turn 4 at the Cida del Lago as well. I absolutely love commentating around Brazil. What can we look forward to here tonight, Jesse?
I think really good battles, of course, with also some DRS strengths. Short track again, maybe with some rain in the race. Of course, chance of rain is there in Brazil, so that could make it interesting tonight.
Maybe so, yeah. F3 certainly was a bit of a, let's just play a cluster mess. Could we call it F3 last night? It was, yeah, not the best ideal in terms of the driving standard. Certainly, it's overcast as we go into qualifying though here tonight. It was overcast in F3, and then the rain came about halfway through the session. So rain is never too prevalent around here. I remember 2012, certainly in real life, Sebastian Vettel famously getting spun at turn 4 by 1 past Maldonado in terms of that instant, and then of course Vettel still wrapped up the championship. I'm not sure if we are waiting for another driver to join. It looks like everything is ready up now, and yeah, we're getting into the qualifying session now, so I'm going to get the nice graphics up on the left hand side. It'll be the final time you actually see, I think, the graphics that we're going to be seeing on the left hand side of your screen, because I'm going to be updating them of course next season. Jensen immediately though, Jesse, as well as Bunty, going set of medium compound tyres. Physico, interestingly, going, oh, I think he selected the wrong tyre, went inters and then he's now back to soft, so obviously feeling that he can maybe get, even if drivers go out in a set of inters, they can obviously keep that fresh set of softs towards the back end of the field, as obviously the first drivers are coming out on track, and it's Thyman, the first man out on track.
They are, and James, I see you made a mistake again in the title of the stream.
No, Parrot's on it here tonight. Parrot is on it. Season 15, by the way, next season is an anniversary because it is the 10th consecutive F1 game that FRL has ever run on. Nobody knows that fact apart from me.
Wow.
Yeah, F1 2012, there's a live stream on Ball Boy's channel. F1 2012 FRL pre-season testing, and there's a very funny intro that I might use for the social race for season 15 just to make sure to rub it in even more and to contribute to how old I actually am here within FRL, as of course Thyman is the first man out on track. Thyman actually showed really good pace in the United States, not the greatest race from in Mexico. Can he come back here tonight?
I hope it for him. Maybe he can come back on the podium or just top 5. But yeah, let's see his qualifying lap now.
Yeah, let's run on board with him. 4.3 kilometres in length, of course, the circuit, down in towards turn 1 at the centre S, negotiated curb, very nice D&D, then to the centre S at turn 2, and then to the left hand of turn number 3, down the retro poster. Marlix has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane, not sure what's going on there. Marlix, I don't think, has got a qualifying ban at anything. Thyman through the first sector though, 16.5 through the first sector, so already down one driver in qualifying for Thyman on the run up the hill and towards Ferradura now at turn 6, famously where Timo Glock, Bjarno Trulli and Fernando Alonso famously collided on them up the hill in 2009. Thyman coming through turn 8 and then to the left-hander of turn number 9 and then in toward the Ranha corner at turn number 10. Pretty much at the top end of the middle sector here with Thyman, pretty much in the infield of the track, and then we loop down the hill through the left-hander of turn 11 and then in towards Jun Sao. 50.3 in the middle sector. That is quick already from Thyman. Coming through the left-hander of Jun Sao, then in towards the Beta Dust boxes of turn 14. Alonso famously crashed, of course, in the wet in 2003 in the race. Thyman, though, on the run to the line. I'm going to put out myself on the line. 106.7 from Thyman. Ooh, 106.8 from Thyman. Not a bad lap at all. See more laps like that, we could get in the 105s tonight.
Really good lap for the first lap of qualifying here. Jensen now, he invalidated his lap, I think. As Hulk now going to P2 and Bunty now in P3 on the medium tyres.
Marley goes second as well, 107 flat, only 0.2 of a second behind. Thyman, of course, has represented by both their full-time drivers, Sapala and Marley. So, Rocco now goes second. He's 800ths off Thyman's time. Thyman's lap time, though, really quick. Jensen, as you mentioned, on that side, medium's invalidated. Macho, though, is getting a bit of tow from Sapala. Sapala, I'm not sure if he's on a lap here. Think he might be. Macho's going to go well quicker than everyone else. Macho to the line. Oh, 106.5 with the help of slipstream from Sapala, who I'm not sure he was gearing up for a lap where he invalidated or something. Macho, though, 106.5, 0.3 of a second ahead, 4 minutes through qualifying. That might be pole position right there.
It could be, but we will see at the end of qualifying. Of course, track evolution will play a big part of pole position. That's always in qualifying. So yeah, we just have to wait and see as Ruti goes into second now.
Yeah, 106.7 from the McLaren man. Hawk as well has gone 6th, 107.4 on that set of soft compound tyres. Brand there, the QRT man, 107.4. I'm on board with MedTC, who's just invalidated coming through turn number 4. Absolutely typical of our former F1 Esports Challengers driver, of course. Sapalo, I believe, though, is on a lap. He's coming through Jun Sao at turn number 12. Very sideways, actually. Raikkonen famously went off and got lost in 2012 around there in the Lotus, and Sapala on the run to the line. I think he'd be the quickest medium runner here with this lap to the line. Yeah, 107.5, comfortably ahead of YS Brand. Macho, though, out on top. Ruti second, Thyman in third, and we are pretty much 5 minutes through qualifying. Is Macho's lap, Jesse, beatable?
I think so. I think it is beatable. Of course, track evolution, as I said earlier, will play a big part also in this qualifying. And Macho, he can gain some time in his lap, but I think he will lose that all in that third sector where you, of course, get that slipstream from Sapala. So
yeah, he's got to rely, because there's obviously no other NSX driver actually in the lineup tonight as well. Vaporizer normally here, Montana normally here. They're not going to be relied on upon, of course, with NSX. So Macho's got to do it basically by himself and pick up anybody's slipstream, really, out on track throughout the lap. 106.5, 0.2 of a second clear. You normally don't see as big as a gap as this in qualifying so far, and normally that means we see drivers, Macho and the likes, drivers behind, not improving in terms of their lap times. I think they will. I mean, we've just seen Stephen Osh go third and Thyman going fourth there on a set of soft compound tyres. Their second and third runs respectfully. Macho, though, 0.2 ahead. I don't normally see gaps like that early on in this qualifying session.
Yeah, really good lap from him. Of course, that slipstream helped him a lot in that final sector, so we will just have to wait and see if that lap time will be beaten at the end of qualifying.
It could be beaten here. MedTC, 50.2 in the middle sector. Not a bad middle sector at all. He's got a bit of feigned slipstream from an Alfa Romeo coming in the pit lane there. I think that was Thyman. And he runs to the line, 106.6. Not close in the end, but does go second. 300s clear of Ruti, and we're 7 minutes through qualifying. Macho out on top. MedTC second, Ruti in third. By the way, good evening to everyone that is tuning in so far. Phil saying he's great to see a full grid. I totally agree. Final race of the season in FRL as well. And final race on the game, can't get any better than that. And Parrot also saying that season 14, not 15. Totally understand that. I will put that into my fact sheet going on to the new game. And Unseen as well saying, evening all, Macho so impressive lately. Yeah, Macho has been so impressive in qualifying. In the race, though, it tends to go astray for him. Can he right the wrongs of what we've seen so far this season from Macho in setting a very consistent race pace to try and win here tonight?
Of course, he won Singapore, I thought, so he definitely can win if he wants. Jensen now coming through one of the final corners, Jun Sao, 50.3 in the middle sector, now only the final sector, so let's see what he is gonna do on his lap, the Alpine.
Go ahead, I thought I interrupted there slightly. 106.8 from Jensen. From the Alpine man, 106.8. Not bad lap time, actually, but considering him and MedTC were teammates in TTML, and Jensen was quicker than MedTC that day, it's a bit of a shock, unless he's running, obviously, the no assist train, and obviously he's a no assist driver already. Jensen in 6th position, though, maybe, more focusing on the new game rather than the old.
Macho aborts his lap. I saw him 5,000 down in the first sector, but now he aborts his lap in the second sector. Ruti is on his lap, so let's see what he's gonna do in that middle sector. Of course, middle sector is crucial.
Oh,
he's
50 flats.
2/10.
50 flat, he's nearly 2/10 up, and you know what? If he improves another 100th, he's going provisional pole at this stage. Matchup, by the way, is on a lap. I think he's through the middle sector, but he's backed off. I think he's invalidated. Rutio low on the run to the line. Goes quickest, and he found 500ths of a second in the end on that lap. The sun beginning to break through the clouds as well, so the lap times are going to get quicker and quicker as we go through qualifying. Ruti out on top, Macho now second, MedTC in third. Halfway through pretty much qualifying. Oh, by the way, saying in the chat, my money's on Bunty too for that podium. Viva Bunty, so clearly a Bunty supporter there. I believe he is a former TFRL driver, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong, and it could be the wrong account. I have a feeling, though, he's somebody that I know.
As Rocco goes into third now, and someone spins in the Senna, it is Simon.
I think he's got caught on the curb. JB did that in qualifying, or in the race, I think it was, last night in F3. He got caught on the inside curb. He's got no damage on the car, luckily. And Thymon's done exactly the same. In fact, sorry, Thymon has got damage on the left side end plays. JB didn't last night, so JB kept it at the wall. Thymon didn't. And that curb through turn 3, hopefully they fix that for the new game, because it is quite deadly.
Of course, well, much things are fixed on track on the new game, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, I think the new game will be much better than this game.
I hope so. I hope multiplayer actually works on the new game compared to sometimes on the old game on F1 2021 here. Ruti out on top, Macho second. Macho was on a lap. I think he's going to come back in the pit lane though. He is invalidated. He was a 10th up in the middle sector when he did that, as Macho now comes into the pit lane. So he's not on a lap. Rocco's not on a lap either. I think Metty C's just started up on a new lap, 106.6. Just being outscored though by Harmon. Up to 4th position goes the Williams man. There in 4th. I think that's a Williams indeed. Indeed it is. I shouldn't question myself on that. Holman there in 4th, Metty C there in 5th, Stephen Osh there in 6th. I think Stephen Osh could be the one to watch out for in this qualifying session. They're beginning to build over the circuit once again through the middle sector. But Stephen Osh, he looks like he's on a really good middle sector here. Comes through the middle sector. 50.1, there or thereabouts, not compared to Ruti or Macho. I think he might go if either 3rd or 4th as he put basically a part in the Red Sea moment coming through both Red Bulls coming out of turn 14, and Stephen Osh now on the run to the line, and he goes 4th, 1,000th off his teammate.
Wow, 1,000 only. Of course it is really close between everyone now in this qualifying, so
Yo's on a lap, he's on the run to the line, and he went... Actually, he's actually backed off his lap. I thought it was up in the middle sector. Clearly had a spin somewhere. There's movement up the field as well. Marley goes 11th. I think Yona improved a position, if I'm not mistaken, there as well. In fact, he's actually coming in the pit lane. Ruti though out on top. Sapolo there in 2nd. Macho there in 3rd. I've, by the way, putting the prediction in for qualifying. Ruti, Macho, and Stephen. Not old Stephen, sadly. Sapolo, by the way, though, has just gone 2nd. 106.4. Good lap from him. And the Haas is putting it to the sword on the front runners.
They are, but Mali, he is in P12 and AlphaTauri has enough now with a 4-5, I think, to outscore Haas and win the Constructors.
But there's 36 laps of the race. Never discount anything happening in the race, honestly. We saw what happened in F3 and there was only 10 finishers. So, not saying things can happen, things can strike twice and whatever, but hopefully it's a very clean race. Hopefully the gloves are off, but in the clean and fair fashion that we like to see, of course, here in F1. Ruti out on top though, Sapala 2nd, Macho in 3rd. YS Brand, I believe, is on a lap. He's coming to the final sector, 2,000th up in the Ferrari. Ferrari, of course, could be looking quite different, and he's duped me into the pit lane. The Matey C, I think, improved up to 4th.
Jensen also in his lap now, improving 800ths of a second as he comes now through turn 4.
I thought he took too much curve coming to the left-hander there. But he's okay, carry on.
I thought exactly the same, but he's now through that middle sector, of course. Very much elevation changes, easy to look up also. As we see him now, again an elevation change, now coming through this right-hander, almost at the point of sector 2, where we can see his time, if he's improving still or not. He is in P10 right now, not the position where he wants to be, and he's almost improving 3/10, 15.0 in the middle sector, almost equaling Ruti there. But now it depends on what Jensen is doing in the final sector. Now, on the straight, going onto the line with the DRS open, it is P2.
And look at how close it is. It's 8,000ths of a second between Ruti and Jensen, 7,000ths between Jensen and Sapala, 1,500ths covering the top 3. Maybe one of the closest qualifying sessions I think we've seen all season.
It is. 15,000 only 80,000 between the top 5. Wow.
There's 5/10ths covering the top 15. 5/10ths.
Wow.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad. I mean, I shouldn't act as surprised. I've seen many good qualifying sessions around here in Brazil. Not as close, I think, as what we've seen in FRL, though, to be honest. FRL, top 15 drivers separated by 0.5 per second, all looking to try and get on their laps. And I think, speaking of going on their laps, Macho's coming to the left-hand of turn number 3. He's got Rocco just coming out of the pit lane ahead of him. No slipstream this time around for Macho on this lap, but he's 200ths up, so he might not need that slipstream at all. As he now comes to the left-hand of turn 4 at Descida del Lago, and then up the hill in towards Ferradura at turn number 6. And Macho now coming to the right-hand of turn 6, then to the right-hand of turn 7, on the limit coming through there. This is where you can gain the time. Through this middle sector, there's a Williams, I believe, just parking off on the left-hand side, coming into turn 4. I think I might be Harmon on an out lap as Macho comes through the final couple of corners in this middle sector. Oh, he runs very wide coming out of turn number 10, and I think that just messes them up slightly. Coming to the left-hand of turn 11, through turn 12, and I think he's backed off. He has indeed. Macho backs off, and all of that boiled down to missing your braking point into turn 10.
Ruti not improving in sector 1 by only 100, but let's see if he can improve on this pole lap. It's really close, of course, but now going on again, elevation change, because now to this right-hander, of course, the sector 2, that was amazing by him with a 50.0, but maybe he can improve with that, maybe with a 49.9. Yes, what a lap this is from Ruti, as he's coming now through turn 13, Junsao through the straight, almost DRS opening now. So let's see what he's gonna do. This is a cracking lap by the Flying Finn now. Ruti onto the line. It is a 106.340.
I'm gonna immediately say I don't think that's good enough. I know it's a 10th and a half nearly. I don't think that's good enough. Jensen normally has a really good lap in around here, like a 106.2, 106.1 sort of area. Sapala, bit of the unknown, third, 106.4. He needs to get out the pit lane soon. Macho, not on a lap yet, but he's letting everyone out the way and going for a final run. And I think, honestly, he might be wanting a bit of slipstream from somebody out on his lap as well. And Meti C, also a bit of an unknown factor. He just got into his lap now. We've got Rocco on a lap as well. It is all going to boil down to the final 2 minutes of this qualifying session. Meti C, by the way, through the first sector. Minimal improvement, but it's a 16.4, so he's there or thereabouts. And actually, spins coming through turn number 4 on the exit of Descida del Lago. And Meti C is one that's not going to be improving at all.
Too much curb. Just loses the back end of the car and then spins it round. So he will not improve at all. Jensen is on his outlap now. Question now is he on time?
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. Where is he at on track? He's coming through... Where is he? The Alpine. Is he coming through the final couple of corners? No, he's coming at turn 1, is he? Was he just starting up his lap? Oh, he's just starting up his lap. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. Stephen Osh, by the way, is on a lap. 7th position. He's another one that could actually really trouble the front end of the field. I'm not sure what his middle sector was like. This is a good lap, though, from Stephen Osh on the run to the line. And he goes second. 106.4. Puts it up there. Not good enough. Jensen is 2,000s down in the first sector. Rocker was not on a lap either. Macho has just started on a lap. He's coming through the middle sector. So we'll go Macho, then we'll go Jensen, and then we'll pick on board with anybody else if we can. As Macho now comes through in towards Laurent Harrit, turn number 10. Matey C is retired from the session. Macho, very good, coming through turn number 10, bit sideways on the exit. He has to commit though to this lap, does Macho. 50.1, he's not good enough in the middle sector, and he's only going to be improving maybe minimal games in terms of the positions here. He could go third, I think, with this lap. He comes to the left-hand of 14 at Sabino dos Boxes, now coming to the left-hand of turn 15 at the Kink. Macho needs to put it all on the line. And he does, and he goes third, 106.4, good lap on 3-lap-old softs. Stephen Osh is not on a lap. Jensen is improving 1700s. He now comes to the line. He's going to defeat Stephen maybe for second. Yes, he does, by 1400ths of a second. Stephen's not on a lap. Yara was not on a lap, I believe. YS runs a 10th up in the middle sector. He's looking quite good as he runs to the line of Ferrari, and he goes 8th, 106.5. Yara, as I say, not on a lap. Thyman is on a lap, but he's actually spun, coming through turn number 12, and he takes the Kimi Räikkönen route through Junsao. On the grass and everything. Davidenko's not on a lap. Bunty is on a lap, but he's improving minimally at this stage. I think, to be honest, there's hardly going to be any improvement. I would say that's probably the end of qualifying for most people.
Bunty only improving 700s in the middle sector. So, not gaining really much. So yeah, onto the line, he's the final man on the lap here in this qualifying session. And he stays in the position where he is, P16.
He does indeed, and that is the end of qualifying. It is Ruti out on top. Jensen in second, Stephen Osh winning last time out, of course, in Mexico. They're in third, Macho in fourth, Sapala in fifth. And looking at the top 17 drivers, they're covered by 6.5 tenths of a second. Pretty much Ruti down to Hawk is covered by a second. Marnix, of course, disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. Must have obviously had a spin coming out of the pit lane. Ruti, though, out on top, Jensen second, Stephen Osh there in third. I think, in Montana's absence, that's as good as you can get in qualifying.
It is a really close qualifying here in Brazil, and now we are only waiting on Stephen Orch to retire from the session, and then we can go on to the race and see if it's gonna race. Rain.
Right, we are going to go to the race. Yeah, I wonder if it is going to rain. Indeed, it is. Ruti, though, the flying Finn of FRL, out on top from Jensen there in second. Former champion. Can he go out with a bang, of course, here in the VSR team? Stephen Osh there in third. Macho in fourth. He had qualifying pretty much wrapped up, and he totally bottled it, unfortunately for Macho. Hopefully the pressure does not get to him in the race, because I'd like to see him up there, to be honest. Sapala there in fifth, Rocco in sixth. The top six are covered by a 10.5, unbelievably, in qualifying. Metisi in seventh, YS Brand there in eighth, then a little bit of a jump to Marley there in ninth. 0.3 of a second covering the top nine. Yoro in 10th, filling out the top 10, with Harmon in 11th, Mentos 12th, Thyman 13th, Physical 14th, top 14 covered by 0.5 of a second. Then Davidenko, Bunty, Yona 15th, 16th, and 17th. Ryan and Hawk also get lap times in, less than a second covering the top 19, and Marnix there in 20th, disqualifying. He's starting right at the back of the field. So, LFR bookending the field, Ruti out on top, Marnix there right at the back of the field, and now we better get going into qualifying, and I can report out on track, beautiful blue skies and sunshine.
Oh no, I would like rain here in Brazil. I would like rain here in Brazil. As I see in the F1 channel, there's not a really nice conversation going on in Dutch. So, see, Thyman, or no, Stephen Orch blocked Thyman maybe in his lap. So, we just have to wait and see if it's gonna get reported and what the stewards are gonna decide, of course.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously stewarding reports will still be open after the final race of the season, so that means drivers can obviously report for qualifying instances. I definitely saw that, I think, by the way. Stephen Osh, I think, was complaining as well, maybe at the Red Bulls, because I know he was coming on a lap, and he basically had to thread the eye of the needle through both Red Bulls, and he might also complain about that. They were well out the way, but still, drivers do tend to find something to complain about. We know that in league racing, that's for sure. As we're about to get going for the final formation lap here in FRL on F1 2021. Ruti out on top, Jensen second, Stephen Osh there in third. Interesting strategy calls further down the field, but Ruti out on top 10 qualifying, of course, on that set of soft compound tyres. Everyone else out on track, but Davidenko, Bunty and Hawk, who are on a set of softs, are on a set of mediums, and those are Harmon, Mentos, Thyman, Physico, Yona, Ryan and Marnix. And Jesse, I'm going to immediately come to you. If you were any driver in this field right now, who would you choose to be and why?
I don't know.
Ideally, though, I'll rephrase the question. What position do you want to be starting in this race?
I think P2, because pole is not the nicest place on this track, I think.
Yeah.
So, I would say P2.
Yeah, Jensen will have the inside run on Ruti in towards turn number one, but I've normally seen around here in Brazil, drivers tend to wheel spin off the line, and I think that's the worry for Jensen. He might wheel spin off the line, Ruti wheel spins off the line, Jensen will be alongside him easily in towards turn number one, and it'll all depend, of course, on the start that everyone does get. Further down the field, though, Harmon, Mentos and the likes on a set of medium compound tyres, Davidenko, Bunty, Hawk, set of soft compound tyres. In theory, 15th, 16th and 19th will be the quickest drivers out on track.
They are. I hope they can maybe this is a show at the beginning of the race with gaining some positions at the start of the race. So yeah, James, top 3 predictions.
Top 3 predictions, I fake a sneeze there. Top 3, I'm going to go Jensen for the win, Rooty for second, and you know what? I'm going to go Macho for third. It's a boring top 3, but hopefully it'll come out on top.
I'm going to go also for Jensen 1, Steven Osh 2, and Sapala 3.
Interesting. Just wait for Ryan to ready up for the final time this season in FRL. The 5 red lights are on, and it is... Lights out and away we go, and Rooty gets a very good start. Jensen alongside him is going to be outdone by Steven Osh off the line, and Steven is going to move up to P2 on the outside of turn number 1 at the centre race. He drives it around the outside as well. Sapala trying to get in the act there as well, but Rooty leads the way. Steven Osh in second, Jensen in third, and the leader has already gone 7/10 clear and is broken away from Steven Osh there in second. There's the yellow flag in the background. I think that's Ryan that's got caught in the curb through turn number 3. I'm not sure if Marnix maybe got caught up in an instant there as well, but Rooty leads the way. There's a bit of scrimmaging coming through turn number 4. TC and Marley are by side up the hill and towards Ferradura. Very clean start by all from my accounts anyways. Rooty leads the way. Steven Osh in second, Jensen third. Through the first half lap we go, as that is Harmon absolutely sending one on Yarrow, forcing the move down the inside line at turn number 7. Has to wait his turn going around the outside of turn number 9 now, and Yarrow forces him off track, and now gives Thyman the free position as well into 11, and Harmon maybe has got damage as he gets outdone by Bunty around the outside, coming through turn number 10, of course, where Albon and Hamilton famously had a collision. But at the end of lap 1, Rooty leads the way. Steven Osh in second, Jensen in third. Very good lap. Harmon losing a few positions though further down the field.
Clean first lap, it looks like, so far. Luckily, no contact with spins. Of course, Ryan spun at the start. I think he got too much curb, because I didn't saw any contact or something with him. So, and there's no damage on his car.
Yeah, he's still continuing at the back of the field. He's absolutely fine. He's there in 20th position. Hopefully, though, we can make up that ground, because obviously he's got a big old DRS train ahead of him. That's perfect, because he's miles off the back. He's going to catch quite quick as Ryan there in 20th position. Rooty, though, held the lead off turn number 1. Steven Osh, though, had a phenomenal run off the launch. Wish we had a replay cam on him, because he was a really, really good start from Steven Osh. Jensen there in third, Sapala in fourth. And immediately, I think, Jesse, Sapala is putting Jensen under a bit of pressure, as Hawk, I think, has actually managed to outdo Jonah around the outside of turn number 8.
Jensen didn't have the best start. Rooty absolutely flied away off the start. He's almost a second clear now of Steven Osh. That is really good for the DRS, of course, because you don't want someone with DRS behind you.
Yeah, he's using up a lot of VRS though. 30% of VRS. Steven Osh relatively the same as Rooty sets the fastest lap of the race. Jensen relatively the same. Sapala's held about 15% back compared to the front runners. So Sapala clearly feeling as Bunty and Thyman are going to go side by side through turn number 1. I think Thyman actually got outdone by Bunty on the brakes. Bunty overtaking Thyman, never like to see that, to be honest, but it is quite a good surprise nonetheless. Bunty there in 11th, Thyman there in 12th. Thyman's going to try and come back at him in towards turn number 4, but they're not quite close enough. DRS, by the way, is enabled this lap around as Thyman on the back of Bunty, coming up the hill and towards Ferradura. Is not going to get the move done, but Rooty holds the lead. Steven Osh in second, Jensen third. All the drivers now beginning to settle on their race distance and on their race pace, as Davidenko was on the back of Mentos, and he's been looking quite close for a while.
He is, of course. I think he didn't gain any positions now, Davidenko. So he needs to make use of these soft tires. He had a little bit of a slide there, I think, coming out of that corner. So
yeah, he looks a bit oversteery, to be honest, through the corners there. Mentos was in front of him, got caught in the dirty air, I think, the Red Bull. And obviously, he's not going to be close enough down in towards turn 1. Somebody that might be, though, Physico on the back of Yona. Alpine against Williams. Alpine currently one driver in the points, one driver outside of the points. Haas, both drivers in the points. AlphaTauri, both drivers in the points. So as it stands, AlphaTauri will be winning the constructor standings as it stands. Marnix now on the back of Physical. The LFR man and the CPI man going to go side by side. There is a yellow flag. I think that's Ryan again that has gone round at turn number 3. It is. And Marnix dives it down the inside line. Physical forced out wide, and that's a lovely move by Marnix. Clean as you like. He's Stoonies into 18th. Physical, purely and utterly got caught by the off-camber corner, and that's why Marnix is Stoonies into 18th.
Good move by the Dutchman for P18, of course, who got disqualified for blocking the pit lane in qualifying. We don't know actually what exactly happened, but we will find out after the race, I think. So yeah, he's up into P18 now, gained 2 positions at the start, so...
Yeah, very good indeed. Sapporo on the back of Jensen, looking quite close in towards turn number 1. He turned off the ERS though. Yona is round though, coming through Jun Sao at turn 12. I think he's kept it on the left-hand side, so that's on the grassy area as opposed to the wall on the right-hand side. Davidenko's going side by side with Mentos as well, down in towards turn number 1, and that's a forceful move by the Spaniard. Gets the job done though, the Red Bull through, and he's into 14th position ahead of Mentos on that set of soft competitor, of course, Davidenko. Position gains, by the way, so far. Davidenko has now gained 1 position. Bunty, 5 position gains so far, nearly just outside of the points in 11th position. Very good start from him. 3 positions gained as well from Hawk and Marnix, who has just gone side by side, I think, and overtaken Physico round the inside of turn number 4. So Marnix through he's into 17th, now ahead of Physico. And Marnix, I know he is a good driver when he's on his day. And I think today he's actually proven it. He's had a poor start, poor qualifying, but he's making up for it in the race so far. Oh, as literally I say that, he spins out of turn number 9.
I wanted to say exactly the same, as he now needs to come back into that DRS of Hulk ahead now on that soft tire. But he is too far back now.
Yeah,
again he almost spun and on the grass now. So maybe Physico can overtake him now, and he definitely will, I think.
Yeah, easy. This should be easy from the Alpine on the outside line at turn 15. Around the outside, Marnix does not fight that, and I think he's going to go DRS down and towards turn number 4 down the Retro Aposta. Ruti leads the way though, Stephen Osh in second, Jensen there in third. So far so good in terms of the action, probably one of the cleanest starts to the race I think we've ever seen in FRL this season. Marnix though is going to retake the position on the back of Physico, down the inside line into turn 4. Nice battle this is going for, not the wooden spoon, you are seeing a battle for P18, and I tell you what, maybe one of the cleanest battles I think we've seen so far this race.
It maybe is, but yeah, they can keep battling, but they are almost 2 seconds behind Hulk, and of course, they are in a DRS train. DRS. Someone will not get the DRS here, and I think that is Marnix for this lap.
Yeah, he's 1.8 seconds off the back. Maybe a cork in the bottle coming between Yoro and Marley, perhaps as well, down there in 10th position, as Mentos been overtaken by Hawk. I think Mentos made a mistake there, coming out of turn number 12 at Jun Sao. So Hawk through, and he's into 15th position. Mentos is going to have the DRS though back at him. Do you know what? I think he might risk this down the inside line here, Mentos. Dutchman holds on, the German, holds on the Dutchman, and the Dutchman there in behind. Mentos in 16th position, Hawk there in 15th, but Mentos having to run. Harmon's been overtaken by Davidenko, down the Retro Poster as well, and Mentos closing, doesn't want to risk this, and he doesn't, luckily, doesn't risk it, otherwise that would have been chaos. There's another yellow flag, and that this time is Yona round at turn 1.
Again, Jona's off, of course. Oh, disqualified from session.
And that is something we saw in F3 last night as well. Somebody being disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. That was in qualifying, I think, from an Alfa Romeo, if I remember. Bayona out of the race. His F1 2021 campaign in FRL ends in disqualification. And I don't know what led to that. It was a spin through turn number 1, trying to recover the car. The game is very cruel at times. I think we can all agree on that.
Ruti was almost... Oh yeah, Steven, he was almost outside of the DRS of Ruti, but now he's getting back at Ruti, of course. But yeah, Ruti is still leading the way, as Ryan also is again around.
Yeah, too much curb again, I think, from Ryan. The Aston Martin there in 19th position. I think he'll be relying. He's normally one to actually finish races, so I'd like to see him actually finish this. And you never know, safety cars could come out, VSCs could come out. Mentos on the back of Hawk, and do you know what? There might be a safety car here because Mentos and Hawk have had a collision in towards turn number 4. Hawk is round on the exit of turn 4 as well. Gets the car back going again. Ryan retires into the pit lane. Mentos gets a 10-second penalty for track limits. Maybe the stewards will feel that is the penalty to give for that instant. Mentos still 17th, Hawk in 18th. I only came on board with that, to be honest. And so Hawk basically driving into the side of Mentos. Not sure what led up to it. Whatever led up to it, calm it down.
I didn't saw the incident, but yeah, let's see if it's gonna get reported. Of course, as Mentos without a front wing, and Hulk, he lost many time. So now Mentos is holding him up. It's not really sportsmanship between those two.
Yeah, Mentos is defending for his life, even though he's got no front wing. I'm going to keep an eye on this, because hopefully he comes in the pit lane here. And indeed he does, yeah. Mentos into the pit lane. Hawk continues on, and there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that, I think, is for Ryan's retiring car coming out on track. Terrible behaviour by the AI there. Ruti out on top, Stephen Osh in second, Jensen there in third, Davidenko and Harmon are fighting side by side there, coming up in towards turn number 6, and Davidenko, I think, might have got an illegal overtake there. I saw that on the mini-map. Harmon back through and he's into 13th, Davidenko in 14th. I have a feeling the Red Bull had an illegal overtake there.
It could be as Sapala picks up a 3-second time penalty now. And penalties will be very crucial now, because look at that DRS train. Down until P12.
Yeah, definitely so. Harmon dropping off the back with Davidenko. That's the real cork in the bottle at the minute in terms of the top guys. Stephen Osh for the first time within 0.2 of a second on the back of Ruti. For the first time since the start of the race, in fact, Stephen on the back of Ruti. And he's got 76% of EOS coming out of the centre rest there and coming through turn number 3 down the Retroposter. Not using up at all. And I think Stephen, at this moment in time, would he want to hold on the position? Because he's got double the amount of EOS as Ruti in front of him. If you were Stephen in this position, Jesse, what would you do? Would you go for the overtake this lap and then pit in and then make it, 25 laps on a set of mediums? Or would you go into the lead of the race, back up Ruti, and hold him up for that position, potentially? Or would you just stay as you are?
It just depends all now on Stephen Osh's strategy, of course. 1 stop or 2 stop. What is he gonna do? I think 1 stop if there's no safety cars coming, so if he will do 1 stop, we are close to pit window, so I would stay behind, I think.
Yeah, he's using up the EOS now. Ruti, of course, has got first choice. He can blink whenever he wants to. Everyone else is coming on in the background. A shot I can see, certainly. Again, Stephen close up on the back of Ruti in towards turn number 1. Somebody that is, though, close is MedTC on the back of YS Brand. At the back of what could be an 8-car train now, as Marley's beginning to drop off once again on the back of MedTC. And he maybe could have a run on YS Brand in towards turn number 1. Stephen Osh is going to go for the lead of the race on Ruti. Exactly the time where I thought I'd miss it. I've missed it. Stephen Osh through. And he's into the lead of the race. We caught that low right at the death. And he gets the job done down the inside. Had a phenomenal run. And he's decided to go hard early. So maybe now, this is the time for Stephen Osh to put pressure on Ruti, as opposed to the opposite.
Stephen Osh now needs to get away from Ruti, as Ruti saved up a bit of ERS right now. So, will you use that all on the straight, or will you just wait until pit lane windows open and then pit and go for the undercut on Stephen Osh? That's the question.
Yeah, definitely so. Judging by the gap, it's 0.3 of a second, and you know what? I think Ruti, if Stephen doesn't pit in now, Ruti will be on the back of him in towards turn number 1, and he is. The McLaren closing in. He realises he's not coming in the pit lane, and I think Ruti is going to maybe get this move done back down in towards turn number 4, the Retroposter. Bunty, by the way, is passing Yoro. That's the real cork in the bottle. From Yoro downwards, Ruti on the back of Stephen Osh, though. This is for the race lead, and he turns off his ERS, meaning he's not going to go for the move down in towards turn number 4 at the Cedar de Largo. By the way, back to that battle with Bunty, Yoro and Thyman, who's now going side by side, nearly into the back of Yoro there, 10th, 11th and 12th. Bunty did get the job done in towards turn number 1. Thyman there on the back of Yoro. Yoro, I think, has gone too hard early on his tyres.
I think so. I can't really see his tyres now because of the shadow. Yeah, his tyres doesn't seem that really good. So I think you need to pit this lap, maybe. But yeah, Ruti, we saw... Sorry, I cut you off there.
No problem.
But Ruti, we saw him staying behind there. I think he is exactly doing what I said a bit earlier before.
Are you sure? Are you sure? He's going to go for the move in towards turn number 1. Macho in the pits from 5th, MedTC in the pits from 7th, and that's going to be Mercedes double stack as well. Absolute disaster on the Mercedes end. Luckily they're not in the Constructors' battle. Ruti, though, has made his move and has made his escape for the race lead. 13 out of 36 laps completed. Ruti leads the way. Stephen Osh in second. Jensen there in third. Drivers into the pit lane. Oh, Macho and Matey C being held up 5 seconds in the pit lane. As a result, Macho's coming out the pit lane. Luckily, they're both coming out the pits in free air. Hawk and Mentos having their own private battle on the other side of the track. But Ruti has made his move crucially for the lead of the race. And this now means, I think, Jesse, he's coming in this lap.
Well, I think so. It's now lap 13 and it's soft tires. By all drivers, they are not looking that good. So I think almost everyone will pick this lap now.
Yeah, I've seen Montana, by the way, do 16 laps around here on a set of soft compounder tyres before, 20 laps on a set of mediums, and he went on to win that race, and I think it was in LOE Season 6, if I'm not mistaken. Ruti, exactly what I said, has came into the pit lane, wins early,
Sapala
gone
also.
in. Yeah, Sapala in, YS Brand also into the pit lane. Thyman and Bunty are side by side, by the way, coming in towards turn number 1, and Thyman, on that set of medium compounder tyres, do not discount him out for the race win here. He's there in 4th. I know he's a bit back from Rocco Jensen, Stephen Osh. 3.4 seconds though.
Oh, Haas, they are double stacking. They are double stacking, and that is not good for the Constructors' title fight.
It's not. Have they just put their own nail in the coffin? Macho, by the way, is behind Ruti coming out the pit lane. He's ahead of Zapala by around 0.5 of a second coming out the pits. So Ruti is ahead of Macho. Macho only cost a second. Undercut, clearly better than the overcut around here so far in Brazil. Stephen Oshlow, Jensen and Rocco, they've got to decide when to come in. If I was them, I'd be in this lap. Stephen Osh especially, because he's got 35% of VRS. Jensen and behind's got 56%, so I think Jensen may go a little bit longer into the race, try and get those tyres online, and then he'll be going, of course, mediums for around 20 laps, I think, towards the end of the race. You watch, they're going to both come in the pit lane. As soon as I say that, they both come in the pit lane. Stephen Osh and Jensen in the pits. Rocco stays out, interestingly, for the AlphaTauri team. Need, of course, the Constructors. They're doing enough at this stage, but Rocco, interestingly, going a lap longer. He was, I think, far enough behind compared to Stephen Osh to come in the pit lane himself, but Stephen Osh there, 7th, Jensen coming up behind him, and there is Ruti and Macho coming in towards turn number 1 as well. And do you know what? This is going to be side by side with somebody, certainly out the pit lane. As Macho, I think, and Stephen Osh are going to be side by side, or is it Sapala and Stephen Osh? It's Stephen and somebody. It's Sapala and Stephen coming side by side out of the pit lane, and Sapala is ahead of Stephen Osh, and that is not great news for the AlphaTauri man.
Stephen Osh just losing places to Macho and Sapala by this overcut.
Yeah. But I'll put it here long term, he's going to be around 8, 9, 10% fresher on those tyres compared to Sapala and Macho ahead of him. So at least he's got that to his advantage.
That is the advantage he has. But firstly, we need to see, is he going to overtake them? Because Sapala and Macho also has DRS, as Rocco, the race leader for now, is going into the pit lane.
Yeah, Davidenko dukes into the pit lane as well. I thought we were going to get a battle between him and Marnix there towards turn number 1, but we're not, unfortunately. Davidenko decides to come in the pit lane. I think it's Davidenko's final race in FRL tonight as well, if I'm not mistaken. Good so far, good showing so far from Davidenko. I think he'll be relying more maybe on a safety car to try and get him back into contention. Certainly a good point scoring finish. He's going to come out the pit lane, I think, in 16th position coming out of the pits. Sapala, by the way, on the back of Macho, Ruti, I think they're all just entitled to run maybe line astern formation at this stage, and 20 laps to go here in Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race in FRL this season. Thyman leads the way home in second, Marnix third, Physico in 4th. Yeah, they are yet to pit. Everyone else has pitted at least once, as Physico picks up a 3-second penalty, and look who he's holding up, his friendly Finn in Ruti.
Physico could be really important in this battle for the race win, of course. Now he is now on those medium tires where he of course started on. So yeah, Ruti needs to pass him quickly, same for the others behind Ruti.
Do you know what? I think Macho's going to get a double toe on both of them here, perhaps. He runs out of ERS there coming through. Now he's up the ERS again. Gonna get the double toe. Ruti though pulls the inside on Physical. Macho has to go for this. Macho has to go for this down the inside line. Physical aware of the danger, and Sapala is going to be let through as well. And again, like a couple of weeks ago, it's like the Finn orgy that's coming back to haunt me in America. Sapala and Physical are having a fight down in towards turn number 4 into Cedar de Largo, and Sapala through, and he's into 6th. But I tell you what, Physical tries to go around the outside. Wishful thinking there. I could understand what he was doing, but now Stephen Osh and Jensen are going to be side by side, and Physical, quite rightly I think, just backs off and lets the quicker guys go through.
Yes, I think he mainly backed off because Jensen was side by side with him. So yeah, of course Jensen on so many laps newer tires, and he is fighting for a possible race win. So I think that's why he backed off.
Yeah, and he's in a fight with YS Brand. Oh, YS Brand gets him around the outside of turn 11. Don't want to be overtaken around there. It's not really an overtaking opportunity either. Physical, obviously dropping off in terms of his pace. He can still latch onto the back of that DRS train, remember, though. So, he hasn't got really... Well, he's got a good chance of actually still picking up points if he sticks to that DRS train, which is exactly what he's going to do on the back of YS Brand. And therefore, YS Brand had no DRS. That's going to become a battle in its own right for 9th and 10th currently. Out on track with Physical, of course, still to come in the pit lane. Tharman leads the way. Harman there in second. Monix in third. Sapala getting close to the back of Macho. And exactly what I said about the battle between YS Brand and Physical. I think YS Brand made a mistake through turn 3 and Physical's back through.
I think so, because YS Brand, he was ahead of Physical, but now Physical is again ahead. There's also YS Brand picked up a 3-second time penalty. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, looking, by the way, at something that's just came through in the news. Rob Gronkowski, totally unrelated to league racing here. I believe he has just retired from NFL again.
I don't watch NFL, so I don't know.
He doesn't care. Jesse doesn't care. Nobody fucking cares on this stream, to be honest. Just saw that on Twitter. Marnix on the back of Harman, though. On to lap 19 we go, and that is the move for P2 for Marnix. On Harman, gets the job done. Sapolo on the back of Macho. I don't think anything's going to happen out of this battle, apart from YS Brand, maybe on the back of Macho. In towards turn number 4. The Ferrari gets a good run here. The Frenchman on the back of the Finn. This should be easy for the Ferrari. On the back of the Alpine. Switches to the inside line. Oh, there's contact between the balls and the balls and the wall. Physical YS Brand, the slightest of touches, makes contact, and that's an immediate safety car out on track. Physical YS Brand. I understood what was going on there. YS Brand tried to switch on the inside line. Physical was on the outside line. And YS Brand has gone too far, I think, to the right. His end plate has contacted the back of the rear end. And therefore, they've got caught on each other, both gone in the wall. They'll be angry at each other, but they'll realise that incident and think, we could have both avoided that.
That was maybe the biggest crash of this season. So yeah, the first, I think, crash without retirement in pit lane or something of this race, and it's a safety car, and that is good for the top 3 now.
It is a safety car indeed. Yeah, YS Brand has just put the hand on face emoji in the chat, in the Discord, unfortunately, and you know it's bad when that's put in. As Ruti stays out, everyone else is coming in the pit lane. Ruti stays out, Stephen Osh stays out, Sapala has picked up a penalty. But you know what? I really rate what some of the drivers are doing here. They're going for a set of soft compound tyres, and somebody like Thyman, who hasn't made a pit stop, has suddenly landed himself 4th position, potentially winning this race. I said, don't rule him out for this race win, and look what's going to happen. I think he might just win this.
If he can get use of this soft tyres quickly and just drive away, and time management, of course. We saw drivers the mostly pitting in lap 13. So if he can manage his tyres, get use of these soft tyres, he can win this race.
Yeah, Mark, by the way, rating the NFL fan, by the way, in the chat, thought Brady could maybe win another, but not without the Gronk. Yeah, totally, and I think we're at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken, judging by my NFL knowledge. I could be wrong with that. And Ivo's saying Alpha could get one too. Yeah, both sets of soft compound tyres on for Tharman and Marnix. By the way, in the chat, in the Discord, Physical apologising to YS Brand. Physical saying it's 1,000% on me in terms of that. that incident, and Physical saying he didn't expect him to be that close, but called it that DNF. So unfortunately for Physical and YS Brand, both out of the race, but they can expect maybe a better season, of course, on F1 22, and I'm sure they'll look back on that incident. They'll see it on the stream. They'll look back on that incident and think, we could have easily avoided that. YS Brand probably would have got the job done. Need there be any risk? But then again, risk is part of the reward in Formula 1. As Sapala, back in the pit lane, I think to serve up his 5-second penalty.
He will. Of course, same for Davydenko. He also picked up 5-second tire penalty, speeding pit lane, so they... Medium,
oh, soft. I thought it was medium, sorry. Sapala's in the pit lane. I thought I saw a yellow wall tyre. Might just be the yellow wall actually on the pit box. But he's out on a set of soft compounded tyres, so I'm clearly seeing double here tonight. Davydenko, by the way, back in the pit lane as well. I think he might have had a 5-second penalty, and therefore he is in the pit lane as well, down in 16th, maybe for an extra lap underneath the safety car. I don't think we will be, to be honest, but potentially another lap underneath the safety car. Ruti, Stephen Osh, Rocco, currently your top 3. And Jesse, I'm going to provide you with that same question that I asked you a little bit early on. What position would you want to be in right now, out on track? Because if I was out on track, I'd be in 4th, where Thyman is.
Same. And then hoping that I can get use of the tyres and just fly away and then manage the tyres and win the race. That's what Thyman needs to do.
Yeah, Monix, by the way, saying, does Harman have damage? I'm trying to have a look from the helicopter cam. I can't see any damage physically on the front wing. Safety car, by the way, is in this lap, so Ruti will be the virtual Burt Marlander. Looking on Harman, it might be left side end plate if there's any. Maybe a winglet missing off there, but apart from that, there's no end plate or anything off, so Harman I think is fine as a result. Ruti though leading the way. Here's the virtual Burt Marlander. He's now the virtual safety car. Stephen Osh and Rocco, the AlphaTauris, they are 2nd and 3rd. They're pretty much crowned Constructors champions at this stage. Physical out of the contention for the Alpines. Jensen needs to win. They're out of it. Haas potentially out of it as well with Sapala down in 15th. But now they all say go. And Ruti absolutely accelerates off the line. And Macho gets a phenomenal start. Off the line, he's 3 wide towards turn number 1 and behind as Marnix goes through the eye of the needle on Jensen. And this is going to end badly for somebody through turn number 1 and 2. Through the centre rest we go. How on earth everyone's kept it clean? I do not know. Down towards turn number 4 though, and this is where the real action might kick off. Macho, Marnix, Jensen, Mentos, 2x2, Noah's Ark formation, in towards turn number 4. Please keep it clean, guys. And they're just about half. Brilliant racing between the lot of them. Thyman gets through and he's into 2nd, and through and he's into 3rd as well on Rocco and Stephen Osh. He's into 2nd now. Jensen, by the way, down the inside of Marnix in towards turn number 8. Tries to get the job done down the inside line. Brilliant restart by everyone, especially Macho, who's up to 7th. Marnix there in 8th, Jensen there in 9th, Mentos there in 10th. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. We've just had a clean safety car restart, no contact, and we've had about 8 drivers within about a second of each other. That was
Sapala Yaro! They almost gone off each... Oh, Mentos is round.
Metis as well. Is he round in Yaro? Oh no, they're just swapping positions. Thyman though gets the move for the lead of the race on Ruti. Ruti's still side by side with them though. In towards turn number 1. Thyman's into the lead of the race, and the QRT man, who had success of course in LOE F2 a few seasons ago around here in Brazil, now makes his bid for glory. 13-14 laps for the end of this race. Thyman leads the way. Ruti in 2nd. Stephen Osh there in 3rd. Side by side though further down the field. Marley and Jensen are side by side, and Jensen gets that job done. He's through and he's into 8th, and further side-by-side action, I think, with Hawk and Davydenko there. But Sapala into the pit lane. Was that just for a fresh set of tyres, or was that for a front wing change? I think it was front wing.
It should be. I'm gonna look at the pit stops.
Yeah, he's 19 seconds off. I don't think it was front wing, actually. I don't know.
It is a front wing.
It is a front wing.
It is.
That's unfortunate.
I think he picked up damage with that little incident with Yaro where he got off the track in turn 12. He gone off there and beat with Yaro. He made some contact, and that's why he picked up some damage, I think.
Yeah, Marnix, by the way, side by side with Marley down in towards turn number 1. Easy as you like for Marnix, who's really recovered well, actually, from an early incident. Marnix there in 8th position, Marley there in 9th, of course. Marnix disqualified in qualifying for blocking the pit lane. He just picked up a 3-second time penalty as soon as I say that. And now, DRS, of course, I think has enabled this lap around. Thyman leading the way, Ruti in 2nd, Stephen Osh in 3rd. Not entirely getting away, though, Thyman out in front. 7/10 of a second, Ruti keeping him honest. They've got a second now to Stephen Osh and Rocco. A second, though, is not enough. They need to gain that, maybe double, triple that, 2 or 3 seconds, and then we are talking about the front two getting away. But Thyman and Ruti leading the way, Stephen Osh there in 3rd. Remember, though, Jesse, mediums are going to come into play before the end of this race. Thyman is going to try and have to break this early as Harmon forces the move on Rocco down the inside of turn 10 and gets the job done.
Harmon into P4 now. Yes, a 3-second time penalty, I think. Yes, he has. Yep. So that would drop him down some places. He might drop another place, because look at Rocco closing in, and Stephen Osh is sitting duck maybe in towards turn number 1. Rocco forced to the inside line. Oh, that's a beautiful move by Rocco. The king of Brazil, in terms of overtaking, absolutely takes that crown. Rocco Thurney's into 4th. Beautiful move that. On a set of mediums. Harmon on a set of softs. And now he's got pressure because there's Macho coming down the inside of him in towards turn number 4. Entered to Delago. Oh, he forces the inside line. There's just about a Mercedes width gap through there. And Jensen now is going to get the outside of Ferradura. Both of them are going to be through, I think, into 5th and 6th here. Harmon backs out. And Jensen Thurney's into 6th around the outside of Ferradura. Brilliant racing. It is Harmon coming back with a little bit of a dive down the inside of Jensen, but he doesn't complete the move.
Oh, he does! Maybe in towards turn number 10, he nearly forces the move on Jensen there. God, they're getting their elbows out tonight, but it's really enjoyable to watch. Meti C has just outdone Bunty around the outside of turn 11. Yara's round, and Marley's round as well.
Oh, Yara, why are you retiring on one track?
Yeah, him and Marley have had a collision, I think, coming through turn number 10 on the exit. Maybe like Albon and Hamilton, maybe a little bit worse compared to that incident, but Marley still in the race. Yara isn't retired out on track. I can understand the frustration, to be honest. More frustration happening. Marnix and Harmon are side by side. Harmon having to rejoin track after contact there with Marnix, and they're side by side with Jensen running side by side on Rocco down in towards turn number 4. Gets the job done down the inside, and Marley retires into the pit lane, and that'll be the end of his race as well. Kicking off now. Ruti, though, keeping Thyman honest out in front. 4/10 of a second. They're now 2.5 seconds clear of Stephen Osh. It's between these two for the race win.
And James, we can now say AlphaTauri is officially Constructors' champion. Because Haas needed the double point finish. So AlphaTauri wrapped up the Constructors for season 14.
And because one of their drivers is reserved tonight, Stephen Osh in 3rd, it's only Rocco's points, I think, that counts, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm sure it's only Rocco's points that actually count. Or is it? Jensen, no Macho. So. Yeah, Jensen, Macho side by side, and Stephen Osh has just been absolutely outdone in towards turn number 1 on the brakes there. Macho Thurney's into 3rd, Jensen Thurney's into 4th. Yellow flags, just ignore them. It's just another AI car coming out on track. But Ruti keeping Thyman honest. It's 5/10 of a second. He's sticking in that DRS. He's saving up that ERS as well. In fact, he's got more than Thyman. Thyman dragging Ruti along. And if I was Ruti, I'd be waiting to the final lap of the race, and then I'll make my move.
I would do the same, exactly as what you said there. Wait until the final lap. Because Thyman, he is not getting really away with the soft tires on Ruti, so yeah, just wait until the final lap. ERS, DRS, slipstream, and it's done.
Oh, he makes a mistake though. He makes a huge mistake out of John Sau when he loses the DRS to Thyman. That is absolutely costly for the Finn, and Thyman can now breathe, for the moment, a sigh of relief. Marnix and Rocco are now breathing a sigh of relief, and they're going side by side up the hill as Mentos has spun coming through turn number 12. Marnix around the outside on Rocco and towards turn number 1. nearly gets the job done. Down the inside of turn number 2, Rocco off camera of the corner, makes contact with him, and now Harmon's going to get on the mix as well. Could be 3 wide down the retro poster. Marnix, Harmon blocked in. Rocco needs to give him room. Marnix on the outside line, lawn mowing slightly. There's contact between all 3 of them, and that was because of Rocco down the inside line, I think, on Marnix, who's into the wall. And Marnix there in 11th. It's getting a little bit desperate from some of the drivers out on track. I know it's the final race. Come on, we've had a good race up until this point. Don't let it go now. As Matey C does down the inside of Harmon and gets the job done. Into P7 he goes.
Really good move by the Mercedes, man. As Mentos is pitting, I think, for some front wing damage. But yeah, sadly again an incident. Marnix, he had a really good race until now.
Yeah, he's had a really good race, and then it's just other people with incidents. It tends to be for Marnix, who's picking up as Jensen's going to overtake Macho around the outside of turn 15. And Jensen absolutely sails on by, and he is the one to watch out for now in this race. 1.2 seconds off the back of Ruti. Ruti and Jensen, I know these guys like to fight. I know they want to fight. And I know Jensen, maybe, if he's got the pace, might be on for the race win as well. But it's Diamond out on top. It's Ruti second, Jensen third. 7 laps to go as Marnix retires in the pit lane. I don't blame him, to be honest. Metty C side by side with Rocco. In the meantime, down the inside line, gets the job done. He's into 6th. The former F1 Esports Challengers driver, of course, Santeri, whatever you like to call him, Hammerleinen, many different names that he's had. There's other ones that I can't remember. There was a
Messina.
Yeah, Messina. There's a one. Oh, what was it? It was, I can't think of it, but it was his first ever FRL gamer tag. If you can put it in the chat, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, Matey C, many different names, but still the same driver, and still going 1 and 6th.
As Diamond now is almost 2 seconds away. So now it's just time management and ERS management for him.
And Ruti is now under pressure from Jensen for the first time, because Jensen gets DRS this sort of lap around on the back of Ruti. Ruti's mistake is his own demise, I think, in this race, to be honest. Jensen there, 6/10 of a second off the back of Ruti. Macho there in 4th, Stephen Osh there in 5th. There's still a lot to happen in this race with 7 laps to go. I wouldn't even rule out a safety car, to be honest, at this point, but I'm just treating fate, I think, with that by saying that. Thyman though out on top, Ruti second, Jensen third, but for the first time in this race, Jesse, Jensen coming alive. He's on the back of Ruti, but he needs to save up his ERS if he wants to try and challenge Thyman if those tyres are to go off in front.
Well, if they are gonna battle too much, Thyman will get more away. He is already 2 seconds away of Ruti. So yeah, I think with those 2 battling, it will be even more. Maybe 3 seconds. So yeah.
Yeah, NSX Valtteri comes to my mind in terms of another Metty C moniker that he had. Chazoo Name Changer as well. I remember that one from commentating them back on the old game, I think, in F1 2020. Thyman though leading the way. Ruti in second, Jensen third. Could go on about Metty C's name changes all night, but we've still got action to come. Still out on track with 6 laps to go. It's Thyman that leads the way. Ruti there in second, Jensen there in third, and Jensen closing in on the back of Ruti. Maybe not going to go for the move. And he doesn't in towards turn number 4, but the pressure is there. Ruti is going to be in a cauldron of sweat, I think, at this stage. Jensen in a cauldron of sweat. Macho and behind, maybe waiting for a mistake by either of these 2. And Stephen Osher's not out of this either.
Stephen Osh can also play part in this battle, as Macho's also behind now Jensen. So Ruti, he can get overtaken by many cars on these medium tires, as Thyman is still 2 seconds away now of Ruti. So it looks like for now, if he doesn't make mistakes, he's gonna win this race here in Brazil.
He is. Is Ruti going to get second though? Because here comes Jensen on the back of him. He's going to go for the move in towards turn number 1. Alpine absolutely saunters on by. Not even there, Ruti on the right hand side. Jensen flies by in towards turn number 1, and he's thrown into P2. And now, can Jensen gain 2 seconds on the back? He basically needs to gain a second on Thyman to get within that DRS range. Is Jensen close enough to doing that at this stage? Maybe not, but maybe he's going to get a fight with Mentos and Sapala having contact just in front of him. Jensen's going to get a free bet of DRS here from Sapala if Sapala is not quick as Jensen. And Jensen is not out of this race just yet. Sapala and Mentos, by the way. Mentos forces down the inside on on Sapala. That was the contact there. Mentos sent round in turn 13. Turn 4, sorry.
Not the best race for Mentos, of course. He had an incident with Hulk, I thought, earlier on in this race. So not been the cleanest race for him.
I think he's had another spin again, if I'm not mistaken. He was just letting through Hawk, that was. Wow, Hawk's a lap ahead of him now, compared to what it was. Macho, by the way, on the back of Ruti. The Dutchman, down the inside on the fin. Softs against mediums. And the softs come out on top. Macho through and he's into third. Ruti there in fourth. Rocco on the inside of MedTC. Down the inside into turn number 1 and gets the job done. And he's into P6, but MedTC is going to have a fight back. Maybe down the hill, down the Retroposta, in towards the city of Delago. He's 4 tenths away, and I think he hasn't got the pace to lie up with Rocco ahead of him. Diamond leads the way. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. It's Mentos retiring. That is in the pit lane, unfortunately. I think it's too late for a safety car anyways. Diamond though, Jensen, match of the top 3. Championship points still to be decided. MedTC picks up another penalty, but he does get the move done. Down the inside of Rocco into turn 6 of Ferradura. Nice move there by MedTC. He's into 6th.
I was on board by that. Oh, Stephen Orsh picks up a 3-second time penalty for now. He picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's in P5, so not good for him.
Zook in the chat, by the way, saying James wanted to skip season 15 and make this the only race of the season. No, America, race of the season, absolute mile. Macho on the back of Jensen, though. Still a really good race there, so Macho gets through and he's into P2. Macho through on Jensen. These are for the final podium positions. Mentos is AI. I absolutely hate AI cars still coming out on track. That's a pet hate of mine in commentary. And another one, Mentos, coming out of track at turn number 4 and retiring the car. Why can't you retire there off the right hand side and towards turn number 4? It's much easier. There's no yellow flags there at all. I mean, come on, sort yourselves out, man, co-masters, honestly. Thank goodness there's a new game next week. Diamond leads the way, Macho second, Jensen in third, and for the first time I've seen Jensen made a mistake there.
He was a bit sideways out of that, but now the battle for P2 is coming off.
I know what Zook's on about. I've changed the title. I thought for season 15, to be honest, and I blanked. See, this is why my co-commentator wasn't here. My co-commentator would have said, no, James, it's season 14. Jensen, another mistake coming out of turn number 12. Ruti on the back of Stephen. We'll just blame it on Jesse, I think, for my...
I said it at the beginning.
It can change. We already set up the stream. It can't be changed. We can change it in YouTube Stereo later on. Jensen on the back of Macho, though. Pulls to the inside line. Ruti tries to force the inside line as well, but Jensen and Macho are side by side. Stephen Oshkin in the fight as well, perhaps here. Brilliant fight between these both. 2 laps to go in Brazil. Diamond has won this race, however you like it or not. Jensen in second, Macho in third, Ruti in fourth. It's 3 wide in towards turn number 4 to see the Delago, and Ruti down the inside line. Macho around the outside though, forced off track slightly. Brilliant race this is turning into. Macho on the inside line now for Ferradura. Up the hill and towards turn number 6. Should get the job done. Should force him out wide. Jensen on the inside line as well, trying to get on the axe. Macho though, through and he's into second. Great fight that. Diamond through, and he's still in the lead of the race, and he's pulling away further. He needs to, if he picks up a 3-second penalty, it's job done still, because Macho is holding up Ruti a treat, holding up Jensen a treat, but Macho has done that tactically to get the DRS. He lets Ruti back through. Final lap of the race to go. Ruti in second, Macho third, Jensen fourth, Stephen Osh in fifth. 4 drivers still in the chance of podiums.
It is absolutely kicking off now as we go into the final lap. Ruti without DRS, Jensen and Macho
here we go.
with DRS. Here comes Macho, dances around the outside of the ZRS. And Ruti fighting back. What a battle this is.
Final lap of F1 2021 on FRL. Final lap for me in terms of commentary as well on this game. Jensen on the back of Ruti, and now he's going to get them both down the outside line into the seat of the logo at turn number 4. Jensen around the outside gets the job done. Macho and Ruti fight, and look at Stephen Osh coming up the inside there of Ruti as well through turn 4. Macho all out of shape. McLaren and Mercedes now run side by side nearly up the hill. Goodness me, what a race this has been in Brazil. Diamond leads the way. Jensen in second, Macho in third. If there's any race to go out on F1 2021, on. This is the race. This is the race. I don't care what anybody says. It's been brilliant. Thyman leading the way. 4 seconds the gap. Everything's going to come down to a sprint finish, I think. A little Jensen, I think, might have wrapped up second there, coming through the couple of final corners in the middle sector. Thyman, though, absolutely lucky in terms of the safety car coming out. He turns around the final corner on the final race here in FRL F1. Thyman is your winner in Brazil. And I think the podiums have sorted themselves out as well, because Jensen the line in second. Macho there in third, smashes into the wall. Ruti there in fourth. Stephen Osh there in fifth. Didn't matter in terms of the penalties in the end. Rocco sixth. Bunty in seventh. Great race from him. Davidenko in eighth. Meti C in ninth. Harmon with penalties down there in 10th. Hawk in the end is 11th. Sapala's going to come across the line as well to finish in 12th, a lap down, and he is still in control of that car, but I think he's going to maybe treat us to a few obligatory donuts. Yes, he is. And that is, well, not too bad and not too good, to be honest. I give that a 5 out of 10 from Sapala as he comes with the donuts out on track in through the final couple of corners. He's going the wrong way now. Doesn't want to get disqualified. Goodness me. Sapala, the Finn, he'll eventually come to a stop and come to the line. But it's nice to see some donuts happening out on track as a result. And Sapala, again, treats us, oh, that's a beautiful 360 there, to be honest. I rate that one, to be honest. And, yeah, I think we're going to be waiting on Sapala for maybe all evening to complete these donuts. But Thyman out on top, Jensen in second, Macho in third. We'll get the top three in, of course, for interviews. Sapala still doing obligatory donuts down the straight. He feels as if he's won the title. He hasn't. Haas haven't won the title either for the constructors. Could totally understand if they did, but Sapala coming across the line. Needy questions the AI cars that are coming round. Sapala surely going to come across the line. Oh, he's ghosted. No, he thinks he can do this when the cars are coming through, but they're ghosted and they're a lap ahead of him. So Sapala to the line, finishes eventually in 12th. Goodness me, we have to wait a long time there, but Sapala across the line to finish in 12th position. Oh, goodness me. Thyman, I think, definitely deserves Drive of the Day. Definitely by Drive of the Day in the game fans, certainly. Oh, what a race that was. To end off FRL on F1 2021, you couldn't ask for a better race than that. Thyman to the top step of the podium. And do you know what, Jesse? I called it. I called it when he was on that set of mediums on that 14. Never rule him out of the race when. It just comes to show what commentators can do in terms of Mystic Meg and Mystic James.
It was a really good race by him, P13 to P1. He played it really good on strategy. Of course, little bit lucky with that safety car, but he managed to get away from the rest of the field.
Definitely so, and from the unlucky spot on the grid as well, 13th up to first, Thyman, the QRT man, out on top for the final win in FRL F1 this season. Jensen had a very good race in second as well. It was a thrilling fight right to the end between four drivers, Macho, Ruti and Stephen Osh, of course, involved in that. Macho there finishing in third on the podium as well. He'd be very, very happy, I think, with that result. Ruti in fourth, maybe a little bit unhappy. That mistake absolutely cost him a chance of the race win. It could have came down to the wire between Thyman and Ruti. It didn't. Formula 1 at the end of the day. Ruti there in fourth, outside of the podium points, but he still had a very good race indeed. Stephen Osh there in fifth, Rocco there in sixth, Bunty in seventh, Davidenko in eighth, Meti C on his final race on the game in ninth, and Harmon there front of the top 10. Hawk out of the points there in 11th, drove well from 19th on the grid. Sapala there in 12th, he did finish and also picked up fastest lap points as well. Sapala, I'm not sure if he gets awarded that though, with him finishing outside of the top 10. I think he might. Mentos there 13th, and then the DNF start with Mentos, Marnix, Marley, Yarrow, Physico, YS, Brand Ryan and Iona, and those are the DNFs for tonight's race in Brazil. We can now speak though to the man who is going to go to a party, but I know we can party a little bit more now with that race when it's QRT Thyman. And Thyman, that all came down to 1 point in that race. That safety car absolutely helped you out massively. Talk us through it.
Oh, I didn't mind the safety car, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, yeah, I was running P12 the whole race, leading medium runner, only one to be able to keep up with the train, and then the train started to fall apart a bit, started to work my way up slightly. I was like able to get like P10 of the train, and then a few guys double stacked. So, but in the end, the safety car helped massively, and I think a lot of people pitted for softs, which normally I don't think it's a really good call because it's hard to overtake in Brazil, and especially once it was gone, it was me and Ruti, and like I had such a big gap at one point. They started to fight, so then I knew it was kind of safe. But in the end, I'm very happy. I'm blessed with the safety car.
Yeah, it was really good, I think, certainly from you out on track. Talk us through that mistake that Ruti made behind, because you were under pressure, I think, maybe in that race. 6/7 of a second, I think the gap was. Then he made the mistake coming through Jun Sao. Could you breathe a little bit better as a result of that mistake?
So in the first 3 laps of the safety car race, it was obviously very important. I started in 4th, immediately got Rocco around the outside, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton style. Which was a very, I think it was a slight bit of contact, but I think it was a fairly clean and good move. And then after that, Steven gave me the spot. I think after he blocked me in quali, he had to give me something back. We were not in the party. I don't want to get any fraudulent things on me. But he somewhat pulled over and gave me the spot, which was very nice. And then I pushed on, got Ruti, and it was really important for me to try and get him out the DRS. And on the 3rd lap, I made a mistake into turn 4. I was on 2 warnings since lap 5, so I couldn't avoid another one, and I ran wide, and my gap went from a second to 7/10. And at that point, he was just constantly in there, and I was trying to save ERS because I was just preparing for the final lap. And then when he made the mistake, I heard my engineer just say burn, 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 and so I just burned, got to 1.3, and then I just started to pull away, and then obviously I started to fight, and it was a lot easier. I don't know how I didn't get my 3rd penalty, no 3rd warning. There were a few sketchy moments there, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah, you can rest easy now. This is your 3rd race, by the way, in FRL this season. 3rd place in America. Don't want to speak about Mexico because there was a retirement there.
Yeah, no.
And a win, obviously, here tonight. You must be really pleased, I think, with the effect you've had going into this season. What's your goals for next season? Are you going to be signing up first and foremost?
I'll have to see actually. Obviously with my schooling I have to work in evenings, so I'll see how much time I have and I'll see what days I have to work, but I'll definitely probably sign up as a reserve and then have some fun again. This season for me it wasn't serious, I wasn't fighting for anything. It was only wins that I could fight for, and I like on a few tracks, Mexico, I was attempting no assist in the beginning, and then I turned back online. And then at USA and Brazil, I just used ABS because for me it's not really an important race, and just having some fun, sitting with 8 guys in a party and just having a good laugh. So I'm happy with it, and if I sign up, I'll hopefully get some good results next season. But then I'll be fully no assists. Not going to be using any ABS, any lines in any leagues. So we'll see how good the results will be then, and hopefully I'll be back up there.
Yeah, I look forward to that progress sprinters because there's not many drivers that obviously transition from running ABS, running assists on this game, and they'll go into no assist. They'll probably run the same assist basically with the new cars and everything. So it's good to hear that you're going to no assist, certainly. Jesse, I haven't forgot about you. Any questions?
Yeah, of course. You had 2 good races, a podium in USA, and now you won the race. Are you excited for a new game, and maybe you can fight at the top of the championship?
Of course, I'm happy that the new game's come out. This game has been a bit shabby, but I think at the end of every single game we say that this was the worst game yet, and then when we look back, it's like, oh, it was a pretty solid game. So, but no, I'm obviously looking forward to the next game. But I'll be starting like a week late because I'll be going on holiday. So which will be nice. All the setups will be made. All the nerds will have done their stuff, and then I can just do my laps and enjoy the game, hopefully.
Congrats on your win.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can go and enjoy your party now, Simon.
I will do. I'll have to quickly go to my train.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Go and enjoy your evening. And we'll now speak to the man, of course, who finished in P2, of course, former champion of FRL. It is VSR Jensen. And Jensen, probably your best race, I think, in a couple of weeks there. Really good race from your perspective. Talk us through it, because that fight in the end was probably one of the best fights I think we've seen all season.
Yeah, I enjoyed that so much. Like, that was probably my race of the season there. Like, of course, I won a couple of races before, but that was the most fun I had this season anyway, and it's a good way to end it. And my final race for now in FRL is a good way to round it off. And Yeah. God, I didn't think I was going to get the podium at one point. I saw Ruti and Macho going out ahead. I thought Ruti might have got Macho back and then it would have held places. But Macho seemed to go deep into the Hamilton Albon corner. Definitely didn't do it on purpose, did you, Macho? And then Macho got a run back on Ruti. They went side by side through turn 2, and then I got some insane run out of turn 2, and I just go around the outside of Ruti and somehow also managed to get Macho, who was a little bit further ahead, and I held on to P2, which I'm really happy with after being quite an unlucky seat, especially unlucky the last probably 4 races. I don't think I've even hit the podium. Those 4 have been either crashed into or taken out. So definitely happy with that.
Yeah, your best performance, I think, since Italy 4 rounds ago. So yeah, that really does add up, I think, in terms of that. You wrap up second in the terms of the championship as well. Must be happy, considering you had an absolute goat ahead of you in terms of the standings. Yeah,
I'm very happy with second. I got 200 points as well. I managed to hit 200 points, which I'm really happy with. If I had a bit more, if I didn't have the unlucky moments, might have been a bit closer to Montana, could have kept it going a little bit further on, but you can't really take away anything from his performance this season. It's been quite unmatched. And I wasn't, like, when he was in the lead of the championship, I knew it would be almost impossible to, like, even get back into the lead, so I wasn't looking towards the championship at that point on, but I mean, still happy with second to round off this season.
Yeah, I'm just going to take full credit, by the way, for inviting Montana into FRL in the first place, and that's why he's obviously won another championship here. Jesse, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, I think also your final league race on this game and your final race in FRL for now. Second in the championship, 200 points, 51 points behind Montana. Excited for the new game to fight maybe for some championships in other leagues?
Yeah, I mean the like the other leagues I'm fighting in, well, you could probably FRL's become really difficult, or it's got really, really fast guys now, which is good to see. But in the other leagues, which are assist restricted, so hopefully, like, it's mainly just to, like, be on levels with the same guys, and that, like, the biggest talent wins out of that. But yeah, I'm hoping I could win some championships there. It's gonna be hard, but it's what I've got to do if I want to prove myself to be anywhere up there.
Congratulations on P2 then in the championship and in this race.
Thank you, and thank you guys for the commentary all season. And absolute pleasure to watch back the races.
You are very welcome indeed, and unfortunately for anyone that might be still tuning in, you have me next season as well for FRL F1. So, you better get used to me once again around here in FRL for next season, for season 15. And we now, of course, can speak to the man in P3, and that was NSX Macho. Macho, from your end, very good race from your perspective. I think, honestly, race better than qualifying?
Very good race. I'm here to win, man. Come on. Nah, all jokes apart, I think that was good for my standards this season. It hasn't been the best of seasons. I didn't have all the time of the world. I literally just slapped on the PlayStation today, did 12 minutes of practice, jumped in. But I really enjoyed it, so that is the point of obviously doing it, as well as winning, but yeah.
Yeah, talk us through that battle from your perspective as well, because we saw what happened at turn 10, letting through Ruti, you cheeky so-and-so, trying to get that DRS. In the end, it really didn't work out because you realised that Jensen was going to get the double toe. Still, though, a P3 result, you must be happy with that.
Yeah, so I came to the corner. I have no clue which corner it was, but let's just call it the Lewis, well, Albon corner.
Turn 10.
and yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Like suddenly my left foot just jumped to the clutch. Nah, nah. Of course I let him through. I did want the DRS. I thought it would have paid off, but yeah, then the moment I got past, yeah, and I realized, what? I don't have the DRS for the next straight, and they are pretty close. I already knew what was gonna happen, so I had to block off one of the two, and because Ruti was, I think he was closer to me, so I decided to block him off. Maybe go side by side with Jensen into the corner, but he had so much overspeed that he just overtook me. Couldn't try to beat him on the brakes. Then obviously I was still in front of Ruti. I tried to do like the best sector I could to get a drag race to the line, but I just completely messed up. Like my tires were overheating, and yeah, in the end got P3. Decent.
Yeah, decent result indeed. I believe as well you might be in the top 10 in the championship if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to work this out myself. I think you finished on 63 points. And yeah, I think you finished 10th in the championship if I'm not mistaken. So at least going into the top 10 is something. Going into the new game, obviously you take that win in Singapore, third place here tonight in Brazil. What's your goal for the new game?
To remove the 0. Nah, but I'm not sure. Like, I've done like multiple tries at no assist, but now I did actually buy like the most expensive stuff. Like fucking Fanatec has to literally just like give you, and I might be like giving it a shot, but I'm gonna look at it. Like maybe I'll be there on pace wise, and if not, I'm not gonna try it. Like, I'm really honest, I am actually there to win. That's more fun for me than just trying to drive and like get like a P18. So I'm not there for that. So we'll see what it brings. Probably after 1 week, I'll just be there again with ABS Online.
Yeah, we will definitely see how everything will go. Of course, going on to the new game. Jesse, coming across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, of course. New game, new cars. I think also for you, your final league race on this game. Yeah, as you said, your goal is just fighting for the championship. Are you excited for the new game and gonna try and hunt your goals?
To be honest, I have been pretty busy. Like, I haven't checked a lot on my phone, haven't did any research about the new game, and I know it's probably going to be a good one because I've heard a lot of people be positive about it, but I haven't bought it as well yet. But obviously I'm going to buy it, and then I'll finally having a day off on Tuesday as well, so I will be able to do some driving. Yeah, of course I'm excited. I think we're all excited. Just something refreshing, new cars, new tracks, everything is new, and then obviously everyone is excited.
Yeah, I hope that's not an obligatory day off, by the way, on Tuesday that you're going to be having.
Well, I've worked for 7 days in a row now, 62 hours, so I'm happy that I had the night off.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. I think but racing is more important and downtime is more important than certainly working 62 hours. That is for sure. Macho, though, I will leave you to the night. Go and enjoy evening.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for coming, guys, for the whole season as well, and, well, we'll see each other next season again.
We will indeed see each other next season, indeed. And that rounds off the interviews. Thank you so much, of course, to Jensen, to Macho, and to Thyman, of course, for the interviews. Much appreciated, of course, as always. Jesse, I'm going to leave the honours of Driver of the Day up to you. Who is your Driver of the Day?
Clear for me, our race winner, Thyman.
And I don't think we need to explain any more about Thyman's win, certainly. Bit lucky with the safety car coming out, but no, he had the pace. Obviously, the fighting in behind. That mistake from Ruti cost him. Thyman drove the best race, gained the most positions, and definitely gets Driver of the Day award from me as well. Just a few updates, by the way, from my end as well. Next season, FRL F1 will be going to the Elgato capture card and Stream Deck. So I'm going to be investing in the graphics and everything like that for the new season and promoting FRL, of course, moving forward on the new game. And hopefully it's going to be a really good game to obviously get delving into. I was playing about with the capture card today. Everything looks like it works, which is good. And that is going to be a major, major improvement in terms of what we're seeing. No more PS4 parties, Jesse. It's all on Discord next season.
Okay, good to know, good to know.
It's good to know indeed. And with that, the second announcement is that I'm unfortunately staying here next season as well, which I think is maybe the worst news that anybody could hear in FRL, but
You already announced that.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved my time, honestly, in FRL this season. Probably the most competitive season ever in 14 seasons of FRL, and I really do mean that. And season 15, obviously an anniversary season, technically. 10 F1 games consecutive on the bounce we've been running FRL, and hopefully new drivers, old faces, the old guard showing the way maybe, and a lot of good driving, I'm sure, to come on F1 22. And speaking of F1 22, I haven't even pre-ordered it yet, so I'm going to delete F1 2021 after tonight, and then, of course, order the new game in probably around 10 or 15 minutes' time.
Quick message from me.
Yeah.
Like, adding into that, of course, you're saying this season being the most competitive, definitely for talent. Here you're seeing all these new guys coming up with all the esports kind of stuff going on. And I know I'm not racing next season, but I am still doing the admin work behind the scenes, as well as Macho is also there assisting with that, and hopefully, or sure, that the next 3 seasons, as it's looking like it's going to be 3 seasons on next game, should be the most competitive yet, and that hopefully makes some good screen time.
Yeah, they will indeed, and I think 3 seasons, obviously it's going to be a shorter calendar. I think it's going to be around 12 or 13 races maybe in terms of the calendar. Fun, exciting races, probably a few sprint races in there as well for all seasons as well, so everything to look forward to.
You have 3 championships and they go even longer, so
yeah,
it's it's wins all round.
And then you've got go to commentators as well, all wins all round again. There we go. Can't say anything more about FRL. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you the action alongside Jesse, of course, this season as well. And I really enjoyed my time. Jesse, anything to add?
Well, first I want to thank everyone for the chance I even get to commentate it here in F1. Didn't expect it personally to commentate here in F1 this season. So many races now. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So hopefully I'm also staying on next game.
Yeah, hopefully you will be staying on the next game, because otherwise we're going to be lacking in commentators like I am in TTML as well, which is not good going forward onto the new game. Commentator sign-ups, by the way, if you're a commentator or an aspiring commentator in FRL and you want to follow in the likes of me, Jesse, Stephen and Ballboy and the rest of the commentating team, sign-ups will be open on the 28th of June, so a week from today they'll be open. I'm going to open them probably at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to be open on Discord. There's going to be social media posts at Fantari Racing on Twitter, probably be posted on Instagram as well, so you can follow all of the links. If you go to the Twitter, there's a little link tree thing for Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow all the accounts on there. And of course, the next action will be on the new game, which I cannot wait to cover. It's going to be a learning experience for us all, but I'm sure it will top the season that we've had, certainly in FRL this season. And for me, certainly, a big thank you to everyone that has been involved behind the scenes, from the owner, Mr. Bunty, from all of the admins, including Jensen, from all of the stewards, the moderators, everyone who runs FRL behind the scenes. Really good to see, obviously. And it's really professional as well, and that's what we want to keep going forward. And I'd like to thank every single person behind the scenes for their awesome work all season. And of course to the drivers, no matter what tier you're in, no matter who you might be listening to next season, honestly, drivers make the league. If there weren't drivers, there simply wouldn't be FRL. And I think with that, we are going to leave it off here, and I'm going to pre-order my Champions Edition of F1 22. Thank you so much for watching, and until the new game on F1 22, goodbye.